you're in a service-centered role. We all are. So Danye, Zach, before COVID, being an IT admin was already a stressful job, where the notion of soldier prevailed. We're going to warrior on, we're going to lean in, we're going to warrior and soldier. Let's talk about that a bit. The environment, some of the challenges that you faced in the admin role, and some strategies that we can neutralize this old warrior idea. So when you think about the work that you've done, can you give us a few examples of times where you've soldiered on and you've been able to learn from it or look at it with different eyes?
Yeah, so first, I'd like to say, never be afraid to say what you need or want, not in the professional environment and not in your home and around your closest connections. Be proactive in your needs and your mental health, because you're one and the same. Your mental health, your physical health, it's all intertwined. So make sure you stick to the end of this because there's some great resources for everyone. Quickly, I've been in IT for over 20 years and I've seen a lot of change. Specifically, the rate and pace of change, the cadence of new technology is far different from when I started. At 23, I would roll products out and you might use those servers for 5 years. And there would be little change after it was rolled out. Maybe a service pack here or there, but it was really pretty manageable. The number of devices you actually had to support were far less. The environment was highly contained. This is all not the case anymore. And actually, it's why JumpCloud is a really fantastic tool for IT admins, because it addresses the borderless environment that we now live in. COVID absolutely was a part of that awakening. Everybody had to go work remote. Some homes were just simply not prepared for it. Neighborhoods were not ready to handle that bandwidth requirement. Cybersecurity was stretched thin and companies were unprepared. What does that mean for an IT person? Well, unfortunately, that meant a lot of us were caught off guard, unprepared, and without the budgets to address it. That means stress. The cadence in which we had to respond to tickets was astronomical. The work-life balance shattered. All these things create an environment for mental health stress disorders. And I think that's what we're here to talk about.
Yeah, to further what Zach mentioned, our the amount of typical issues that we have on a daily basis doubled because now we're dealing with environments that are out of our control. And on top of that, because everyone is working from home, not only are we dealing with the professional stresses that come day to day, but now those are merging over to the personal stresses that we live on a day to day. And to even add to that, now that I'm working from home, there's really no fine line between work-life balance because I feel as though I always need to be working because there's always something for me to do because I always have someone to help because I'm with IT. We are support first. We don't bring in any dollars and cents to any organization. So if we can't justify why we're there, either we're going to be replaced or we're going to be let go. And that's scary, especially in this day and age. So there's always that constant stress of, I need to do more. Like I almost feel like Genie from Aladdin when he came out, he's like, poof, what do you need? Poof, what do you need? That's exactly what I feel like, because if I don't adhere to what's needed, then there's a question of if I'm needed. So yeah, there's constant stresses when it comes to our life. So this is a very important topic that everyone needs to take full advantage of.
So one of the things I mentioned in the introduction is about empathy. And what we know is that it's actually decreased by 40% among young people over the last 30 years. And in your work, it's service-centered. In the work that we deliver every day as helping professionals, it's service-centered. Empathy can be strained because the stress is so high. The routine can be strained. The choices that I mentioned can seem like there are no choices in it. This is how it is. How do you handle that?
I remind myself why. That's why I am the way I am, why I do the things that I do, and why I care so much. Especially being a veteran, I've already served my country. So now it's upon me to take care of my community in my city. So I can't do that without being employed. I can't take care of my family without being employed. But I understand the bigger picture. I understand how important IT is. So I take pride in that, even though we most of the time get the short end of the stick. I just constantly remind myself why and constantly try to be the change that I hope to see in the world.
Yeah, I think I've learned a lot about empathy over the last year, specifically the last 6 months. Not only empathy towards my peers, community, humanity in general, but for myself. And I think if you're going to be good in IT, empathy must be one of your core traits because it'll help you care about the problem that you're solving. I personally, if we're on the subject of empathy, will call out that I have a number of disorders. I was massively depressed going into 2021. Stress disorders, PTSD, to name a few, and had very few coping skills for it. And it led to a critical event where I made an attempt on my life. And so that started a journey of mental health. And that was with Pacific Solstice, Britten's firm. And what I would say is I've learned a lot about empathy in this process. And I think it's a core thing that can help everyone.
Please subscribe and check out more content from us.